What is up, you guys? It's your boy, Captain Jack Spearo. Thanks for joining me on this episode. We are with our boy, Nick Bailey.
Call boy.
And we're picking up Reese now. We're gonna shoot some intercoastal fish. I don't know if you can tell, but it is a super windy day today. Luckily, it's offshore, but check out this viz. It is crystal. It's a little chilly, little windy, but we're still gonna get after it. I wanted to give you guys a little pro tip. I got this mask from SoFlo Spearfishing. Has a little GoPro cam, and I want to give you guys a little tip on how to get super high quality GoPro footage. First off, I'm shooting this whole video in 4K, first time ever shooting in 4K, so we'll see how it turns out. But I want to give you guys a little tip on how to make your underwater GoPro footage primo. So when you set up these GoPro cams with the GoPro mount, you want to make sure that the GoPro is flush with the mask lens. And that's usually what everybody thinks. They like tilt it up, too far down. But if you have it flush, what you see, the GoPro sees. So that's just a little pro tip for you guys. What is that? Found some like nasty plastic in the water. I'm gonna chuck it.
Oh, did I cook it?
Oh, you got it.
Got it. Yeah, clutching up. Sheesh. Throw this away.
Taking care of the ocean. One plastic tarp at a time. But you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do a giveaway. I'm gonna give away one of these dive masks from SoFlo Spearfishing with the GoPro mount, and I'll give all details in the description below, and it'll probably be posted up on my Instagram page, and that's how you enter, and I'll do a drawing in probably about a couple weeks or so, so stay tuned for that. Info on that will be in the description below. But we're gonna go ahead and pick Reese up, and then we'll get after the diving, so I'll see you guys in the water. All right, so I'm trying to tell Nick that we can do this. We're thinking about shooting the gap and making it under this bridge. This is the highest point. Nick says we can't do it.
No.
That's the bridge we're gonna try to shoot under. So we're gonna drive up, we're gonna test it, and we're not turning back though. It's do or die. I don't know. Yeah, no, you can't. You can't make it. I think we're off by like 2 feet maybe. All right, maybe on like super low we can make it. All right, so this is what you get when you come out with Nick.
Oh god.
Hold your breath.
Oh dude. Ah.
Oh dude, those are maggots all over. Ah.
Bro, not posting.
Dude, Nick, how old? Week? 2 weeks?
A week. My buddy didn't take him home. He was supposed to.
All right, it looks like I know what we're chumming with. Well, Nick will be in charge of chumming. Sick.
Oh, here they are.
All right, so we're here messing around. Nick has his prototype.
Accurate size representation.
And Reese took us a practice shot right there, and it ripped
right through
the cord out.
Now, young men, never shoot it, never fire on land. You know, that's a big mistake. No, I'm just playing. It was just I drilled too close to the edge. So, I mean, I'm not too good at drilling in dicks. So I just had to go.
All right, Reese has got to get wet.
Get out of here! You already have your suit.
I know, but you can dry off and be warm. I wish I had the GoPro running.
You know?
Whenever, no, I wish I had it running whenever he shot it. I almost lost my crap. He just shot it, just looked at him.
Big hog. Oh, shut AP on the line.
I could take it. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that. Why would you think that would hold?
I was figuring underwater I wouldn't just throw it at
no,
this
I mean,
and just hold it. Oh.
Reese. God, that's hilarious. So we are all suited up. We are gonna go get after it. And by the way, I'm only using pole spear. Pole spear is the only thing I'm gonna use. Headhunter Predator pole spear. I'm pretty pumped about it, and I'm only doing it to keep my skills kind of fresh for whenever I go to the Bahamas. But yeah, so I'll see you guys out there in the water. So we started this day off great. That little white speck there ended up being an aluminum anchor, and these things fetch for a super high price. We make a dive. Nick goes down first. He's gonna grab the anchor. I load up my pole spear just in case I see a sheepy, and sure enough, the school comes right into me. You see it off in the distance. I think Nick pointed off to it. I line up the shot and I take it. And that pole spear I'm using is a Predator pole spear by Headhunter. I'll drop the link in the description below. That thing is super fast and very lightweight. I make another drop here, and you'll see kind of the area I'm aiming at on these fish. I most of the time aim for the gill plate. I think that's a super safe and conservative shot. That way, if you shoot a little high, little low, you'll still land the fish. On that one, I shot a little far back, but it's still a solid holding shot. I'm able to land the fish, no worries. I make another drop here, and at this point I'm starting to look a little on the trophy hunting side. I'm not really taking the smallest fish, I'm not taking the medium fish, I'm looking for that bigger sheep's head, mainly because it yields more meat. There was a perfect gill plate shot in right behind it, out the other side, easily landed fish. And I'm using the Showstopper Headhunter slip tip, and that thing is sick. You can see whenever I put it through the fish, I pull it right back out. The fish has no chance of getting away. And Nick actually ended up bringing his pole spear out and started doing a little pole spear primitive hunting as well. See how I take my time? And when I shoot the pole spear, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to chuck it at the fish, because that might have your shot a little thrown off to the left or the right. If you hold it straight and just release your hand, the spear should shoot true. You can see here I pull that slip tip all the way through. I go ahead and use that tip to brain the fish so it doesn't struggle, puts it out of its misery, and it'll be an easy fish to chuck in the boat. This is my last dive. You can see how many fish there actually are. It is insane. I have a hard time picking out the biggest one, and I just let it fly. Same thing, I have that little gill shot target area that I aim for and land the fish successfully. Okay guys, so that was epic. You guys are diving in the water right now. I'm running the boat, and hopefully I'll get in soon, maybe to a new spot, and we'll be able to slay some more fish. But woo, successful so far. Time to target something else. So we start diving in a new spot. There's some Barracuda around. It's a little ledge on the intercoastal. I head to the surface, and Nick says, go ahead and shoot a Cuda if I have an opportunity. I make a drop, go down, looking at a stone crab claw that I found on the bottom, and here comes a big school of Barracudas. Some people don't know this, but Barracuda are actually really good to eat, but you don't want to get that big of ones, otherwise there's a chance of it having the ciguatera toxin, which is a toxin that attacks your nervous system, and throughout a buildup of time, it can really affect you tremendously. You can see that school of Barracuda come in. Unfortunately, they don't give me the shot I want, and with those bigger fish on a pole spear, on a belt reel, you want to pick and choose what kind of shots you take on bigger fish. So we hop in on yet another spot. This is a giant boil, and it's pumping out really hot water, and the fish congregate around it. I decided to go for a little ride, make a drop, get blown away in the rush of water, and I'm going to try to do a spear drive-by if I see any fish. I had my spear loaded. I ended up seeing nothing but a lot of tropical fish, a lot of life, some sharks, and it was a cool little experience, almost like a little roller coaster underwater. Alright boys and girls, we are offshore now. Ran a little bit, done shooting some sheepshead. I want to shoot a giant pelagic fish with my pole spear. I'm going to hook up my belt reel to it, Hopefully we get something good, but I'll see you guys down below. We're gonna dive some wrecks, and it's a really slow day. Like, nobody's out because it's so rough and so cold. So I think there's a high chance of us seeing some good stuff. So I'll see you guys, and you know, we'll see what happens. First drop, I go down and I see a massive Goliath grouper. And these things are protected in Florida waters. At one point they were endangered because the meat is so good and the fish is very easy to harvest. You can see I go right up to it. Landing a shot in this fish would be no problem and it would be a lot of fun, but unfortunately they're protected with good reason. On this dive, Nick plugged a monster Barracuda. He called me up, needed a backup shot, and I did just that. And when you do backup shots, guys, make sure you take your time. The fish isn't going anywhere, especially on a decent holding shot, so take your time and land a good headshot. Dude, Nick shot a mongo. All right, you guys, we just dropped Reese off. We're gonna go probably head back, so we'll see you guys back at Nick's place. All right, you guys, so we are back at my house. It was really cold running and we were freezing. It was a front that came through, that's why it was so windy, but we got some fish. It was a successful day. We got some fillets, so they're over here. I'm drying those guys up, and then I'm going to make something called herb crusted baked fish. I kind of mix things together, but this is like one of my favorite ways to have fish. So I mixed cilantro, garlic, butter, some Creole seasoning, and then I'm gonna end up using some Parmesan and some breadcrumbs. And this stuff is gonna be fuego. So what I did was I got all my ingredients, all the herbs and all the butter mixed in here together. I also put some jalapeno in there because I'm a fan of the jalapeno. Preset the oven to 400. I'm gonna cook everything in the pan. Afterwards, once this stuff starts kind of combining, I'm gonna baste all the fish, set it in here, and I'm gonna mix breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese in here till it has a nice consistency, and I'm gonna lay it on top of the fish, and then I'm going to throw that in the oven and cook it. I now have all the fish laid out in the pans. I needed to add another dish because, you know, you have to. Sprayed some olive oil along the pan so nothing sticks, and then now I'm going to baste it using this with all of this mixed up ingredients. The fish has been basted, you can see it. Now I'm going to mix in Italian breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese. I'll probably go like 1 to 1 as I add until I'll show you the consistency you need. You want it to where it's almost like where you can tell it has the seasoning and the juices in it, but it's still fairly dry. That's what you want. That's how I would describe it. Go ahead and get it to where it's like that, and I'm gonna basically dump it over the fish. I'll show you guys in a second what goes on next. So that's basically it. Now you're going to throw this in the oven once this thing is done preheating, and I'll only cook it for probably about 12 minutes, and I'll check on it, check it with a fork every once in a while until it's nice, white, and flaky. Just find the thickest piece and make sure it's nice and flaky and white. We had a little problem. The oven wasn't working, and I had to use the grill to heat it up. So a little different. We are taste testing it now. Tiffany, what do you think?
Great, love it.
Great. Devin, how is it? Good?
It tastes good.
Yeah, so good. It's all, oh god, I just poured some all over the place. Yeah, that's what it basically looks like. Just breadcrumbs on top. Oh yeah. Does Steven want some?
No, you
Steven, you want some?
Get off the table!
You scared me.
Devin, are you okay?
Yeah, scare me.
Did it scare Steven? Alright you guys, I hope you liked that episode. Fun little intercoastal dive-in. We're gonna dig into this. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys next week for another adventure. Later.